You have a presentation at 8 a.m. the next day. And for reasons we can't state in this channel, let's just say you didn't get enough sleep the night before, 3 a.m. So now that you haven't had your sleep, you're not in the mood to get up, you don't want to give a presentation. How do you go out there and give an amazing one anyways? And that's exactly what we'll be answering on this week's episode of MasterTalk. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing amazing. Brendan from MasterTalk here, your go-to channel to mastering your talk. And this week we're covering the importance of presenting when we don't want to, otherwise known as presenting on a bad day. So let's get into it. Number 1. Acknowledge the fact that your audience wants you there regardless of the state that you're in. I know, we feel it all the time. We wake up in the morning, we're groggy, we're tired. We don't want to go to this presentation. We don't want to give it. But the thing we need to realize is that the audience, especially if the presentation is on an 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning and nobody really wants to be there, think about your audience's ability to want to show up anyways. In other words, what I'm trying to say is your audience wants you there regardless of what state you think you're in. Because they're making a decision to wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. to come and watch your presentation. Because they're excited to say what you have to offer. In that same way, whenever you make a decision as to whether or not you should be showing up to a workshop or a presentation, every decision that should be made should always be based on the audience and not yourself. That's how I personally view it. The audience and what they want out of the presentation is always more important than the speaker who's giving the entire presentation. And if your audience is waking up so early to come and see you, it means your presentation is worth giving regardless of the state that you think you're in, which is almost entirely fictional. So as long as you never forget that, it doesn't really matter how bad your day is, you'll find a way to present an amazing presentation regardless. Number 2. Now that we went over the state that your audience is in, let's go over passion and how important it is. I'm a firm believer in the idea that every keynote I've given where I was sleep deprived, I've never really wanted to give it until I entered the room. What I'm trying to say here is it's your responsibility to show up as a speaker, but once you show up, you can let your passion handle the rest. If you present something that you absolutely love, whether it's communication for me, canoes, karate, arts, whatever passions you in life, the second you enter that room and you see everyone excited to see you present or interested in the topic that you have, you let your passion ooze through you. There are some presentations I've given with almost no sleep, and even in some cases with no sleep at all. And I still found a way to deliver the presentation anyways, because I just love teaching communication to everyone who comes into my workshops. Whether it's in a boardroom, a classroom, any room, I just love being out there and showing and sharing my ideas that really matter, which is that communication, regardless, is something that you can learn over time. It's not something you're born with, like leadership. So as long as you make the decision to show up, your passion will handle the rest for you. Number 3. Now that we covered all of these aspects, what is the final thing that I have to teach you on a bad day? And that is, do not underestimate the energy that your audience can potentially give you in a workshop. I see this all the time. And this is why exceptional speakers generally love people, because when we go to audiences, we go deprived of energy. We're tired, we don't want to be there. But the second they start clapping for us, they're cheering us on, they're there for us, great speakers are able to feed off the energies of their audience, mirror their excitement, and give an amazing show. And this was a great workshop I gave to a bunch of teenage girls on a Saturday morning on communication. When I went up there, I wasn't there. I didn't want to give the workshop. I had like 3 hours of sleep the night before. But when I showed up and I noticed that there's 2-3 people that were still super excited, full of energy, even if it was 8 a.m. in the morning, I was able to feed off their energy, get their participation, ask them questions, interact with them. And it quickly boosted my confidence as a speaker, and I slowly got the energy levels I needed to deliver the presentation I always were meant to give. And that created a chain reaction where everyone suddenly got excited to talk about communication, to interact, and I was able to deliver a good workshop. Not because of me, but because of the amazing audience members in the room. So if you can find those one or two people in your audience that is excited and is the most excited to see you, then you can feed off their energies to deliver an exceptional presentation. At the end of the day, everyone, presenting on a bad day happens to everybody. It's not something that is exceptional. It's something that happens to even the best minted speakers in the world. But the difference lies in what are you going to do about the fact that it's a bad day. Are you going to choose not to show up? Or are you going to do what's best for your audience? Show up regardless, let your passion handle it, and deliver an exceptional presentation like I know you will. As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of MasterTalk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to see more videos like this. Now I'll leave you off with this. Presenting in any state is challenging, and I know that. But if you can muster the courage to present on a terrible day that you hate, man, are you going to be deadly in the presentations that matter. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time on MasterTalk.